Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mouse Club podcast. Or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Marissa. Welcome to the Mouse Club. I'm so happy that you're joining us for this week's episode. This week, we are talking about the best Disney dads, and I'm really excited because my best Disney moms episode is actually the second most popular episode on my channel. So it seems you guys like these, so I hope you enjoy this one. And like I said with the other one, if these are popular next year, I'll probably do like a second edition where I do Disney live actions or non-Disney animated dads / moms, all that fun stuff. So I'm excited to see how you guys like these. Also, of course, before we start, please be sure to follow me at the Mouse Club Podcast on Instagram if you'd like to participate in future episodes. I will be reading responses from some of you guys in this week's episode. So it's a great way to get a shout out if you are growing your Instagram or your YouTube channel. So please be sure to participate on there. I'm also going to be asking you all for stories and doing polls and other things like that. So it's really great if you could follow me. We're at 80 followers right now, so we're almost to 100, and I'm really, really excited. Also, if you would like to leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts app, I would greatly appreciate it, and you might get a little shout out if you leave a review. So please be sure to leave your information, whether it's your Instagram handle or YouTube handle on there, so that we can give you a little shout out. So anyway, guys, we have a lot of Disney news to cover this week. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. Also, I am doing some laundry, so I'm hoping you can't hear my dryer because it's like 2 rooms away. But if you can, I apologize. Hopefully it's just like very, very quiet in the background. So the first piece of Disney news, of course, the biggest news probably of the week, is the fact that Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party has been canceled for 2020. And yes, of course, it is very, very sad, but I'm very happy that they're doing this for the safety of their guests and their cast members, and just making sure that everyone is going to be safe during this fall season. There's still no word yet on HHN, but I really, really doubt that there's going to be one. And if there is one, I don't think it's going to be the same at all, because I don't understand in a haunted house with such close proximity how you're going to have scare actors and guests and scare zones and, shows. So I really don't think that there's going to be one. And if there is, I will be very shocked and very intrigued to see how that goes. So stay tuned, because I will definitely share whenever I hear more information about that. Also, H2O Glow Nights at Typhoon Lagoon were also canceled for the rest of 2020, which I've never been to these. I've never actually heard of them, I'm going to be honest, but they were canceled. So if any of you were planning on going, unfortunately, they are canceled for the rest of 2020. Disney has also released a statement that they are going to be continuing to monitor for Very Merry Christmas Party and also the Festival of the Holidays and the Candlelight Processional. Again, I really don't know how these are going to happen. I think it's possible the Christmas party could happen in December. It all depends. There's so much uncertainty right now, whether there's going to be a second wave or anything of that nature with the coronavirus pandemic. So I really don't know what's going to happen. I hope that there can be the party, but safety of course is first. The Candlelight Processional I really don't see happening unless they do it just with cast members, because just with having school students on a school trip, I don't know how that's going to work with school districts rules and also parents' rules and everything else for their kids to go on a trip to Orlando and sing at Disney with a whole bunch of people. I don't think that that's really going to be possible, but we'll definitely see. We'll definitely see how that goes. Next up is our food and wine update. So, basically, flower and garden merch is going to be sold at Food and Wine when it reopens with the parks, which I'm guessing is probably because they just have a ton of merch that they need to sell from closing very early on during the festival. There's going to be no Eat to the Beat concerts. It's now going to be called A Taste of Food and Wine Fest, which basically, from what I'm gathering, means that it's basically Food and Wine Festival on a much smaller scale. It says that it's a creative modified it's a creative modified festival experience. It's going to be starting July 15th and carrying on through the fall. So that is very exciting that there will still be a little bit of a food and wine festival, even if it is probably on a little bit of a smaller scale and probably a lot different. Next is super huge, which is the Disney Park Pass, which is the new reservation system, which is required to get into the parks. So it manages park attendance. It's required to make a reservation for park entry. There's not going to be any more complimentary magic bands anymore. And they're saying that eventually they want to get to the point where everything is done from your phone. So your hotel key, your fast passes, everything like that is hopefully going to be on your phone one day. So goodbye, magic bands. It's been fun having you while we did. And I definitely think we'll have them for a while longer with like annual passes and stuff. And they'll probably still sell them in the parks. But it doesn't look like they're going to be giving complimentary ones for the hotels again, or at least not anytime soon. Next is the fact that a lot of attractions are going to remain closed when the parks reopen. So I have a full list, and this list is actually from blogmickey.com. So here is a full list. At Magic Kingdom, Casey Jr.'s Splash and Soak Station, Enchanted Tales with Belle, Frontierland Shooting Arcade, Main Street Vehicles, Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, and Stitch's Great Escape. At Animal Kingdom, Affection Section, The Boneyard, Primeval Whirl, Finding Nemo the Musical, Up a Great Bird Adventure, and Festival of the Lion King. At Epcot, Advanced Training Lab, Beauty and the Beast Sing-Along, Bruce's Shark World, Turtle Talk with Crush. At Disney's Hollywood Studios, Star Wars Launch Bay, Indiana Jones Stunt Show, Voyage of the Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast Live on Stage, and Frozen Sing-Along. I'm really surprised that Fantasmic is not in this list. I feel like, am I missing something? Is Fantasmic closed or something right now? Because there's no way that Fantasmic is going to be open in that huge stadium. I am not sure. Maybe they're sectioning it off. I don't know. I honestly am not sure about Fantasmic. But it is a little bit crazy that all of these attractions are going to be closed, as well as character meet and greets, parades, fireworks, stage shows. And Disney has not announced any change in ticket prices, which I find a little bit strange because so many experiences are going to be closed. If you're an annual pass holder, I could understand, but for a lot of my friends in the UK and in other countries who wanted to take a trip this year, it doesn't really make any sense because, you know, why spend all that money to get here and to pay for flights and tickets and everything else when so many things are going to be closed? I've also read that you're not going to be able to do any resort hopping, and you're not allowed to visit the resorts unless you are staying there. So it's just like there's so many changes right now. So it's definitely crazy. And guys, I'm going to be honest. I'm just so over the pandemic. I'm not over it. Like, I don't believe in it anymore. It's just, you know, it's really stressful and everything's changing. And like, I feel like I can never escape from it because when I go to work, all the people at work are talking about it. It's all over social media. And I'm in no way saying we should disregard it or ignore it. I'm just saying I'm so excited for the day when the pandemic is over, or when a cure is found, or when a vaccine is found, because it's just a lot. It's a lot to take in for sure. Something a little more on the exciting side is that Hamilton's trailer was released for Disney Plus. So it looks absolutely incredible. If you have not seen the trailer, it's like everywhere on Facebook and Instagram. It's definitely on the Disney page, and I believe on the Disney Plus page as well. There's also been a lot of talk about the censorship in the Hamilton stage show, because obviously there is some cursing in it if you've seen it before. So Lin-Manuel Miranda talked about that on his Twitter if you want to go check it out. But they're going to be bleeping some stuff out. They changed some words, some expletives. So you can definitely go read on that if you'd like to see more about it. And lastly, the last piece of news I have for this week is that Disneyland Paris is officially reopening July 15th. So that's very, very exciting. I also read that Tokyo Disneyland, hold on, let me pull this up real quick because I can't remember the exact date. But I also I saw that Tokyo Disneyland is going to be reopening on July 1st. So that's exciting. I believe that is officially all of the Disney parks now have a reopening date. So I just hope everybody's safe. Right before I hopped on this podcast, I read a post that someone at Disney Springs spit on a cast member because the cast member asked them to wear a mask. I don't even care which side of the mask debate you're on, but that is just so disrespectful and so rude. And guys, if you want to go to Disney and Disney is asking you to wear a mask, just wear the mask or just don't go. Like, it's really not that hard. I genuinely do not understand. And I just feel for that cast member. That's very frustrating, and I totally believe it because I have been spit on and cursed at and called a lot of names while I worked in the park. So it's definitely a treacherous job out there. All right, guys, so hopping into today's episode, of course, like I said in the beginning, we are talking about the best Disney dads. And I'm really excited for this episode because there's so many great ones out there. Of course, if your favorite does not get mentioned, please don't take offense. It's just that I just came up with a little list of my personal favorites and things that I admire in these dads I'm going to talk about. And please feel free to let me know your opinion and who your favorite Disney dad or who you think the best Disney dad is on my Instagram. I'm going to be posting a picture when this episode goes up. So please be sure to go check that out if you want to leave your opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So first, to start off, I'm going to read your responses from Instagram. And like I said, my Instagram is at the Mouse Club Podcast. If you'd like to go check us out and participate in future episodes. Man, I cannot talk today. So I'm going to read your responses. So at that Disney guy, spelled with a Z for Disney, said Goofy. And I'm not going to comment too much on that because Goofy's actually on my list. So I'm going to talk about that in a second. At damsel_in_DPS commented and said, I know other people are going to say Mufasa, so I have to give Goofy some love. Goofy is getting love, guys. I think that's so adorable. At Backpack Barbs said, Marlin. Yes, Marlin is actually, I believe, on my list as well, so I'm not going to talk about that one either. At just_Dysa said Mufasa. So I get in some Mufasa, some Marlin, and some Goofy love from our Instagram. Again, that's at the Mouse Club Podcast if you'd like to participate in future episodes and get a shout out. So here's my list for the best Disney dads. And I'm just so excited to share with you guys. So first off, like we saw in the responses from Instagram, Goofy from a Goofy movie. Goofy's a dad in a lot of movies, actually. He was a dad in Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. He was a dad in an extremely Goofy movie. I feel like you see Max in a lot of movies, but Goofy is just the sweetest dad ever. If you have not seen a Goofy movie, you absolutely must. It is such a beautiful film about the love between father and son and the struggle of those fateful teenage years. And I just love Max and Goofy's relationship so much. I love Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas when Goofy has that story where he believes in Santa and Max is kind of wondering if he believes in Santa still, and Goofy just goes to such measures to show Max that Santa's real, and it's so beautiful. The scene where Max is like in his room and Goofy's outside and he's carving into the snow because it's so late at night. He's carving into the snow. Don't forget about Max, so Santa could see it. I'm sorry, but I'm crying. That is so adorable. And I'm just obsessed with Goofy. I think he's so flipping cute, and he's such a good dad, especially when he takes Max to the Powerline concert after learning that Max has been deceiving him. And when he's dancing with Powerline on that stage, I mean, come on, that is so adorable. So I had to give some major props to Goofy. Next is kind of like an adopted dad, and that is Carl from Up. And of course, Carl and Russell from the beginning don't start off very, very good friends with each other. But Carl and Russell's relationship definitely takes off throughout the movie, and Carl protects him and encourages him. And I just think it's such a beautiful, beautiful relationship between someone who's so much older and someone who's so much younger, and a relationship where they're not biologically related, but they are so, so, so close. And the scene at the end of the movie where he's sitting on the sidewalk and they're eating ice cream together with Doug is just so sweet and so sentimental. So gotta give some love to my boy Carl from Up. Okay, next is King Triton from The Little Mermaid, and I know I'm going to get some feedback on this, so let me explain myself. Let me explain. I know King Triton seems like he just is the worst dad ever, that he just is so strict and so unfair, but in reality, we can see how much he just really loves Ariel throughout the movie for not only The Little Mermaid, but The Little Mermaid 2, and also Ariel's beginning. He's just so full of love for Ariel, and even though he is a very strict and stern father, you can see how much he loves her and cares for her, as well as his other daughters, just by the little acts and the things that he does. For example, one of my favorite scenes is when I don't remember exactly when it takes place. I just know Ariel is like really happy. I think it must have been after she sees Eric for the first time and she gets his statue. I just remember she's so happy and like ditzy, and she's with all of her sisters in their room, and she's like just like humming to herself, and King Triton comes in and she puts a flower in his hair and walks out, and all the sisters are like, wow, she must be in love. And King Triton's face, he just looks so happy for her. And I think that that's so adorable. Another really special moment is when at the end, when Ariel is getting married and she hugs him and says, I love you, Daddy. Oh, that is so cute. I love that moment so much. And another moment that's really sacrificial is when Ursula, tells him that Ariel signed the contract and he has to hand over the trident, and he hands over the trident to protect Ariel. He's so powerful, he's so stern, but he's so sweet to Ariel, and he really does love her so much. And you can definitely see why he has such a hatred for humans if you watch Ariel's beginning, because you'll see that Ariel's mom actually died because of pirates. So, I mean, it's pretty understandable why King Triton would be a little terrified of humans. And, Little Mermaid 2 also continues his love for his family when he is so protective of Melody and doesn't even see Melody for like 12 years of her life because he's trying to protect her from, what is Ursula's sister's name? Morgana. So, yeah. King Triton had to be on my list. Next up, I have Maurice from Beauty and the Beast. Gotta love Maurice, man. He's just the cutest little guy ever, and he's so adorable. I love how he does his inventions. I love how much he cares for Belle and tells her that she's not odd. I love the moment where she tells him, Papa, do you think I'm odd? He's like, my daughter? odd, and he's wearing those crazy glasses. That is so cute. So I just love Maurice so much, and in the live action I love him as well. I just think that he's so cute, and I just love innocent characters so much. Like, he's just a sick old man, and you just really feel for him when he's trapped in that cell and he's coughing, and when the Beast sends him away in the animated one, and Belle's like, you didn't even let me say goodbye to my father, and I'll never see him again. That's just such a sad moment, and you really see the father-daughter love there, so it's really, really beautiful. Okay, next is Geppetto from Pinocchio. Geppetto, okay, first off, not only is he a great father, he's also a great pet dad. Let's be real. Because I just watched this the other day just to, like, confirm before I filmed this episode that he was actually a good dad and should be in the episode. But he takes such good care of Figaro and his goldfish. I think her name is Goldie, but I could be off. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not sure her name. And I think that it's so sweet that he's just, like, an older man who never got married, never had kids, but he put so much love into creating Pinocchio as a puppet that the Blue Fairy rewarded him for all the love that he's given to his village and to his pets and to everyone else around him, that she turned Pinocchio into a real boy. And of course, Geppetto fights for Pinocchio throughout the movie, even ending up in a whale because of Pinocchio's careless mistakes. And I just appreciate Geppetto so much because he's just so sweet and so innocent, and he really fights for not only Pinocchio but his pets as well, which is just so adorable. Next up is the king from Cinderella, and I looked up because I wanted to know what his name was, and believe it or not, the king from Cinderella does not have a name, and neither does Prince Charming. I was pretty shook. So basically I'm just gonna say the king, but the king from Cinderella is so cute. He's another one like Maurice, where he's like just a little guy. He's older, and in the original Cinderella from 1950, he definitely is a very like stereotypical 50s man. Like, he wants his son to get married and have kids, and he's very sweet in that movie to Cinderella, like when she kisses him at the end of the wedding and he turns red. It's so adorable, and you can see how much he just loves his son and wants him to be happy. And I think it's adorable when he sees Prince Charming see Cinderella at the ball for the first time, and he gets so excited and so happy. That's so cute. But the moment that really stands out for me is in Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time, when if you haven't seen that movie, sorry, I'm going to give a few spoiler alerts here. But basically what happens is Anastasia finds the fairy godmother's wand, and Lady Tremaine goes back in time and switches Anastasia and Cinderella. So the prince wants to marry Anastasia instead of Cinderella, and he doesn't know that he actually fell in love with Cinderella at the ball. And the only ones who know that this whole switch has ever happened are the Tremaine sisters with Lady Tremaine and Cinderella and the mice. So it's basically about Cinderella trying to show the prince that it was her at the ball. And something that I really loved is the king's relationship with Anastasia in this movie, because if you've seen Cinderella 2 and you've seen Cinderella 3, you know that Anastasia is actually so sweet and just really just wants love. And basically throughout the third movie, she's like really questioning if they're doing the right thing, if she should be taking the prince from Cinderella. And spoiler alert, basically the king gives her a shell, and it's a shell that the king and his previous wife, so Prince Charming's parents, found at a beach when they touched hands for the first time. And he said he knew when they touched hands that he loved her and that he wanted to marry her. So he gave this shell to Anastasia right before she was supposed to get married to Prince Charming. And basically it gets to the wedding. There's a ton of details that I'm not saying, so if you haven't seen it, go see it for real, because it is such a good movie. It's so cute. But basically they get to the wedding, and Anastasia says she can't go on with the wedding because she wasn't the one at the ball, that Cinderella was at the ball. And she tries to return the shell to the king, and he says that she should keep it. And I think that that's so sweet, how forgiving he is and how loving he is, that he is pouring into this young woman who isn't even going to be his daughter-in-law. But he just has so much love for her and has so much love for the people in his village. And I just think that that's so sweet. So I had to include him in this video. Or not video, I keep saying that, in this episode. Next up is actually two from the same movie, Pongo and Roger from 101 Dalmatians. Definitely, okay, Roger, can we appreciate for a minute the fact that at the end of 101 Dalmatians, he was just willing to accept the fact that 101 Dalmatians were going to be living with him at a Dalmatian plantation. Like, who in their right mind would be okay with the 101 Dalmatians? But Roger just went with it because he loves his pets so much. And I think he's like the ultimate example of a great pet father. And Pongo, of course, he's an amazing puppy dad. He takes such good care of his pups. I love them traveling from all across the UK to get back to their home, and how he keeps the puppies going, and how he has all the ideas like rolling in the soot to turn themselves into Labradors, which is just so adorable. And Pongo is like the reason that the movie exists, because he's the one who set up Roger and Anita in the first place, because he fell in love with Perdita. So I really appreciate those two. They're just so cute. I love 101 Dalmatians so much. It is such a cute movie. Next up is a stepfather. So Thomas O'Malley from the Aristocats. I love Thomas O'Malley. He is so cute. And I love his song, Thomas O'Malley. It's such a cute song. And I just love how he like falls in love with Duchess. Basically, he doesn't fall in love with her, but he's just trying to pick her up, if you know what I mean. And he finds out that she has kids, and he's like shocked for a moment, but then he helps them on this quest to get back home. And he's just so good to the kids, and he's so good to Duchess. And I just love him. He's so cute. And I love the everybody wants to be a cat scene when all the kittens are singing and dancing, and it's so cute. And just how much Thomas O'Malley was willing to sacrifice to help the kittens and Duchess get back home. I think it's just such a beautiful example of a stepdad and of blending family. So that's really, really cute. Next up is Fawzou from Mulan, which, if you do not know, is Mulan's father. And he's absolutely incredible. He had fought in the previous war in China. And, you know, if you've seen Mulan, he was supposed to go into this war. And I think it's so beautiful when they call his name on the horse, and he, like, gives his wife his cane and strongly walks up to the horse to accept his, I don't even know what it is, his paper to get drafted to the war, I guess. And what I really love about him is the fact that when he finds out that Mulan is gone and that she went to the war to take his place, he prays for her, and he doesn't want to say anything because he doesn't want them to kill her or destroy her honor. And I just think that it's really beautiful to see a spiritual father and to see someone who really cares about his daughter. And when she comes back and is just so scared because she doesn't know how he's going to react, and he just doesn't even care. She puts like her sword on his lap and a necklace on his lap and all these amazing things that she got from the war, and he just throws them all to the side and just gives her a hug because, of course, like the most important thing, oh my gosh, I'm crying now. The most important thing is his daughter, and that is so beautiful. I heard from What We Said podcast this week that if you clear your throat when you're about to cry, it stops you from crying. So I'm trying to do it because I get very emotional, guys. And he's just such an adorable dad. I love him so much. Okay, next, one of the ones that was in our Instagram, responses is Marlin from Finding Nemo. Of course, we got to talk about Marlin from Finding Nemo. I think he's actually... Oh, no, I had Carl from Up. So he's the second Pixar one from this list. But Marlin is such a good dad. He's such a good husband in the beginning with his wife. Is her name... I can't remember her name. Pearl? It's not Pearl. That's the little squid. But anyway, his wife, when she goes for the egg and he loses his wife, he loses all the eggs from the barracuda, and he only has Nemo left, and he chooses to name Nemo after his wife's idea after she passes away. And of course, if you've never seen Finding Nemo, you have to go watch it. I'm sorry. You have to go watch it. It's such a good movie, but he fights so hard to get Nemo back after Nemo's taken by a scuba diver, and it's such an incredible movie, and his love for Nemo is so strong, and I really, really love it, and I love Marlin. I love how careful he is with Dory as well, and just how respectful he is, and that is some sacrifice to travel the whole ocean to get your son back. So that is really, really sweet. And lastly, I have a big brother who is like a father. And that is, drumroll please. Ding, 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 ding. That was not a good drumroll. But Kenai from Brother Bear. I know that's probably not what you're expecting me to say. You're probably expecting me to say Onward or something else, which those are great movies as well. But the last one I wanted to talk about as we are wrapping up this episode is Kenai from Brother Bear, because if you've not seen Brother Bear, great movie. I know I've said that about all the movies that I've talked about, but Kenai and Koda's relationship is so special. If you have not seen Brother Bear, how am I going to describe this so fast? Okay, so Kenai has two brothers. They're all human. And one of his brothers gets killed by a bear. And Kenai goes after that bear to get revenge for his brother, and he kills the bear. And when this happens, he... I don't know how to describe it because I don't know what their culture is technically called, but in their culture, when you die, your spirit goes up into the northern lights, because I think it takes place in Canada. And basically when he kills this bear, the northern lights come down, and his brother comes down in the form of an eagle and turns him into a bear, Kenai. So Kenai is freaking out, trying to figure out why he's a bear, and he meets Koda, and Koda is this bear cub, and he's so adorable. He's so funny, and they go on this huge trip. I can't remember the exact details. I don't remember why Kenai is going on this trip. I think it's his responsibility to help Koda, or he's looking for someone. I can't remember the exact details. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but they basically go on this trip together. And this is a very big spoiler alert. So if you have not seen it, I apologize. You might want to skip ahead a little bit. But Kenai learns that Koda's mom was the bear that he killed to get revenge for his brother. And it's so sad. It'll definitely make you cry. But it's beautiful. Koda runs away. He's freaked out, of course, because Kenai killed his mom. But Kenai and Koda mend that relationship, and basically at the end of the movie, their relationship is so strong that even though Kenai still has a brother and a life in his human world, he chooses to stay a bear and be there for Koda and to be his big brother. And it's so beautiful. I'm literally crying, guys. I'm literally crying right now. It is so beautiful, and it's just a beautiful film in general. The animation is incredible with the Northern Lights. And I think Kenai is a great fatherly figure because he just took on so much responsibility because of his mistake. And he's just such a good big brother to Coda, and it's really, really sweet. So definitely go watch it if you haven't already. Well, guys, now that I've officially cried like 5 times and we've officially made it through our list, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. So I hope that you enjoyed. Please be sure to go leave me your thoughts on my latest Instagram post. Again, that's at the Mouse Club Podcast. And I hope that you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you next week for a new episode. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Mouse Club Podcast. To find us on Instagram, follow us at the Mouse Club Podcast. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Mouse Club Podcast, or on our website, themouseclubpodcast.com, to find all of our episodes, links to our social channels, and our YouTube channel, which will be coming soon. To follow our host, Marissa Potts, that's me. Check me out on YouTube, Marissa Potts, on TikTok at marissa.potts, on Instagram at Little Miss Maurice, MRS Maurice. Thanks so much for listening. See you next week. Bye.